Hello learners, I welcome you all to the third segment of lecture 52 on FET, Fair and Equitable Treatment. And in this video, we will be looking at how FET clause is interpreted by Methanex Tribunal in Methanex versus United States. Like I mentioned earlier in the last video, Methanex is a very significant case for the course and also for specifically for the interpretation of FET provision. So what is it that makes it so interesting? As you know, Methanex, and we already discussed the case in detail in the 6th week of the course as well. So Methanex is a Canadian methanol producer, and this methanol was used for producing MTBE, which was a gasoline additive. And when California enacted a ban on using MTBE as a gasoline additive, Methanex was affected with that measure, and a case was filed. So it was a environmental regulatory measure that was challenged by the investor in this case. So what was the challenge? Specifically, Methanex was arguing for a broader interpretation of fair and equitable treatment. So it wanted a broader interpretation like any other investor. And here also it cited Lowen's decision and stated that international law includes customary international law plus treaty law, and treaty standards of FET clause is much broader than the customary international law standard, and therefore the tribunal should apply the broader notion. And for this particular aspect, Methanex also had brought in the argument of principle of good faith as well. So here Methanex had argued that the principle of good faith is applicable and California's measure was not taken in good faith. So for this aspect specifically, US replied back. US stated that US cited Nicaragua versus Honduras case wherein ICJ had stated that principle of good faith will be applicable, wherein some of the existing obligation or existing rules should be shown to be broken. So that is where, I mean, it does not, this is what ICJ had stated, principle of good faith does not create a new legal obligation, but the investor had to show the, some of the existing or any of the existing international rule was broken. So that it, US contended on that line and stated that Methanex had to show that if it invokes the plea of good faith, then it has to show that which of the existing obligation was broken by the United States. And then Methanex also contended that US should have taken a measure that was least restrictive. And for this, it relied on certain obligation that you will find in chapter 7 of NAFTA regarding SPS measures and all of that. Then it cited WTO jurisprudence with regard to least trade restrictive measure and all of that. Then the tribunal itself stated that the arbitration that is that is initiated pursuant to chapter 11 can only decide claims relating to chapter 11, not with regard to claims that comes under the purview of World Trade Organization or under other chapters of NAFTA itself. So the trade aspects of the claim, the tribunal clearly stated that it will not entertain those issues as well. So this is what with regard to the contention of Methanex and the contention of US. US was arguing that FET standard is a much narrower standard, stated that it is limited only to customary international laws, minimum standard of treatment. And what is the minimum standard of treatment? Refer to niche standard. We have already discussed in the second week of the course when we were talking about the developments before the BIT, signing of BIT started. So from there, I mean, that's what makes it a customary international law because of the time, right? So that is what US was arguing, tied to niche standard and nothing more than that. When this was happening, Methanex brought in an argument by saying that US measure was discriminatory because they enacted this measure only to promote domestic ethanol industries. A measure that is discriminatory would mean that it is also a violation of Article 1105. So this is what the Methanex is contending, and this is in line with the previous decided cases as well, where we have seen the tribunal had tied a violation of one provision to a violation of Article 1105 as well. So based on that, it stated that it's discriminatory, therefore it is also a violation of in this Article 1105 as well. So when this case was pending, that is when FTC, Free Trade Commission of NAFTA, came out with an interpretation. And what was the content of interpretation? It basically, with regard to FET clause, the interpretation stated that FET clause is tied to customary international law's minimum standard of treatment, and a violation of any other provision will not be considered as a violation of FET clause. This interpretation is significant because this is what we'd seen in Metalclad case, violation of transparency provision, violated FET clause, ST Meyer, violation of national treatment provision, violated Article 1105. So that now with FTC's interpretation, it was clarified, explicitly clarified that a violation of some other provision will not be considered as a violation of Article 1105. Right, so an interpretation comes. Now here at the time of interpretation, Methanex was questioning the intention behind this interpretation, stated that it was targeted specifically, and Methanex also contended that this is not an interpretation, this is an amendment, because the entire content of Article 1105 is changed, and if it is an amendment, FTC does not have an authority to do so. Then Methanex also referred to one statement made by Sir Robert Jennings, former ICJ judge, who questioned on the who stated that the timing of the interpretation is to be improper. So Methanex also cited Sir Robert Jennings, and they also questioned the FTC's interpretation. Mostly they were contending that it's not even an interpretation, it's an amendment. And Methanex also brought in an witness from Mexico, a Mexican national, Alvaro Aurelio Alvarez, right? So this person was a negotiator when NAFTA was being negotiated. Methanex also wanted negotiating history of NAFTA. Tribunal declined to do so. But so this Mexican national stated that when they were negotiating NAFTA, initial draft contained the term customary, and Mexico wanted customary to be dropped. But US was questioning, US was actually opposing the Mexicans' idea, saying that it will broaden the scope of protection given to investor. But if we see the final draft, go look at Article 1105, the final draft does not have the word customary. So therefore, it seems that all the countries have agreed to drop the term customary, right? So Methanex was saying that the word customary was deliberately dropped out of the text of Article 1105. So now US cannot claim that FET's scope is limited to customary international law, that is minimum standard of treatment. So this is what Methanex contention was. So now the tribunal had to decide many things, especially it had to look at the arguments of Methanex with regard to FTC's interpretation. So here we can see that the tribunal rejected Methanex contention and stated that FTC's interpretation, a valid interpretation and not an amendment, and for this it relied on Article 31(3)(c) and 39 of Vienna Convention Law of Treaties, and also it looked at Article 1131 of NAFTA as well and came to this particular conclusion that it is an interpretation. Secondly, with regard to the discrimination argument of Methanex, that the measures are discriminatory, therefore a violation of Article 1105, Methanex tribunal had a very interesting take. It looked at the bare text of Article 1105 and the term discrimination is not mentioned in 1105, paragraph 1. I mean, in paragraph 2 there is a mention of discrimination, but that is in a very limited context in case of war, armed conflict and all of that. So 1105(1), which talks about FET clause, so there the word discrimination is not there. So Methanex tribunal stated that it will not read in something that is explicitly not there in Article 1105. Its authority does not extend to such an extent where it's going to interpret Article 1105 by reading in the word discrimination, which is not there in the first paragraph itself. So that's what it said, and moreover on the facts of the case also the tribunal stated that Methanex did not adduce any proof with regard to discrimination. Right. So thirdly, with regard to the scope of FET clause also, now there is an interpretation by FTC, and even on about that the tribunal stated that if the claimant or Methanex in this case was arguing that FET clause is much broader in scope, then it is them, the claimant has to adduce proof to show that it is much broader in nature, and in this case Methanex did not do so. So therefore it did not read in a very broader scope of FET clause. More on the facts of the case, the Methanex was not able to prove many things, but this is how the FET clause was clarified. Now what we are interested in is, okay, so in this case this is how FET clause is interpreted. Now, how were the other cases, the NAFTA cases, that were interpreted post the interpretation given by Free Trade Commission? So that will make us our understanding to be a little more complete, because this is what at least in Methanex case the interpretation came in between when the case was pending. So we will see how the subsequent tribunals had decided the question of scope of FET clause in the context of NAFTA post Free Trade Commission's interpretation. So that is something we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.